Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished. West Ham United 3, Crystal Palace 0. Who is Dimitri Payet? We don't really care. We don't really need him. Well, in the first half we might have. First 45 minutes, a bit nervous, a little bit of lacking.
Nervous, boring and rubbish the first 45 minutes. You had two teams who were both missing their top quality creator. We missed Payet and Crystal Palace missed Zaha, who's off at the African Cup of Nations.
Bilic get the formation wrong with the first half, switching to 3 at the back.
Absolutely, which he proved because he changed it in the second half. So yes, he got it wrong. Everything was wrong in the first half from both teams.
Yeah, the first half I think we were lacking anything. The players looked nervous. No one really wanted the ball. And it looked like they were trying to do the simple passes, but the problem was we were sloppy with the simple passes. We couldn't even get the simple passes right. But it's expected, I think. I think given the occasion, given what's going on this week, I think we can excuse them for that first 45.
Yeah, I mean, just if you put all of everything into the mixture, Sam Allardyce coming back, Dimitri Payet, the 5-0 loss against Manchester City, it was going to be, you said nerves. I mean, and he couldn't have summed it up any better. What we were looking at was a very, very nervous team out there, but all of the factors that I just mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, so it was a case of getting in at half-time at 0-0, regrouping and seeing what we came back with when we got back out there.
Half-time, we made the change, turns out to be a 10 out of 10 change, key change. We go through at the back, Byron comes on, Dick's off Bona, and we looked like a different West Ham.
Well, and I did notice almost immediately 2 very good challenges from Sam Byram just to dispossess Crystal Palace and win us back the ball. And also once he won the ball, we had balance on the team. We had somebody on the right-hand side. We suddenly had possession. He was able to give it. So actually, I mean, I've got to hold my hands up here. I've been a critic of Sam Allardyce, of Slaven Bilic and of Sam Byram. Particularly Bilic's tactics. The tactical switch was spot on, and Byram was very decent when he came on.
Is your mini anti-Bilic campaign going to go into the quiet mode for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a campaign, it was more about his tactics. I like Bilic, he's a really, really nice guy. He's a nice guy who I thought needed to perhaps bring in a tactical coach to help him with the tactics. So it wasn't about me wanting Bilic to be out, it's about me wanting Bilic to get it right. And today he got it right, I've got no complaints. But after what happened, I mean, he had tears in his eyes when he announced that Payet wanted to leave. Bilic had tears in his eyes, and you'd have to have a heart of stone not to feel sorry for Bilic when that happened. So I think I was fully behind Bilic for this game, and the whole stadium, you could hear it in the singing, the whole stadium was behind Bilic for this game, and he got it right. He just at the first half he got wrong, second half he got right, and the crowd were fully behind him.
What I will say about Byram is they kept coming down our right-hand side in that second half, and he held his own. I mean, Feghoulli's not the best tracker, and you can see him still having to get on at Feghoulli, but they did well down there. For the first time, our right back, for that 45 minutes, for the first time this season, I think, our right back wasn't our weak spot. We didn't have a weak spot today. Crystal Palace couldn't find one. They kept trying to come at it. It just wasn't working. But we had to wait a while, but we finally got our goal, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and a mistake really. Antonio heavily involved. Big credit to Antonio today, who kept working. He just kept working, kept trying. He's been our top scorer this season, and we needed him to come good today. And we needed Lanzini to come good. We'll talk about him in a second, obviously. A mistake, really, from Hennessy in goal for Crystal Palace as well. He sort of rushed out. I'll need to see it again on Match of the Day. By the time people watch this, they'll have seen it on Match of the Day. We've not. We saw it once live. It seemed like Hennessy made a bit of a mistake. Antonio really capitalised and seemed to square it for Feghoulli, who was fantastic. Really pleased with Feghoulli, who's been rumoured to be transferred away.
I want to rewind Antonio. What a pass by Noble. I always stick up for Noble. Somehow he passes sideways and backwards, but man just put Antonio one-on-one. So it's amazing to do that when you only pass sideways and backwards. Good pass. I think you're giving Hennessy's error there a little bit too much credit. I think what I've been quite, you've held your hands up by him, I've been quite critical of Antonio's technical ability, and today he's got 3 assists. he's going one-on-one. Hennessy's coming out. He composes himself. He rounds the keeper, keeps his composure. It looks like it was going in, but Feghouli just had to make sure it went in because a ward was there. So he does everything that I actually thought he couldn't do. And then for the second goal, he does something else I thought he couldn't do. I've always said Antonio can't cross it. He crosses it, puts it on a plate, and wow, what a finish by Andy Carroll. He's always tried these overhead kick things, Andy Carroll. He does like a bicycle kick.
That was a tremendous finish. And you know, listen, we're doing these videos, but we're doing these videos as West Ham fans. I'm not Gary Neville, I'm not Jamie Carragher. I don't have some fantastic tactical insight into the game, so I'm watching that as a West Ham fan. Oh my goodness, you know, that was absolutely fantastic. If you've seen our seats are right by the front row. I almost fell over, fell off the edge of the stadium basically. What a finish.
Don't do that, you'll get blood on the state-of-the-art retractable seating. Don't fall.
It's fine because the transport links are absolutely fantastic and an ambulance would be here very, very quickly. Oh wow, I mean, as I say, we could tactically analyse it. What a finish. They'll replay that. I might not have seen match of the day. This might be going out now before match of the day, which it is. That will be our match of the day. Got to be goal of the day, surely.
I think you're getting paid by match of the day to plug them, I think. But that goal was stunning. Like, you know, it's just, I'm pleased for him as well. I mean, after that, he kept coming back and defending them. He kept defending everything. At one point, he was organising the back four. He was standing telling Collins and Byron where to be. And that is what Payet isn't. He cares, Andy Carroll. He's not a West Ham fan. Everyone knows he's a Newcastle fan. But he gets what the club means. And it's no coincidence out there today we had an Irish keeper, an English right back, a Welsh centre back, an English left back, an English striker, an English midfielder. We had British players in there. They know what it's about playing for West Ham United. You can't grow up on these isles and not understand West Ham. They understood, and you could see in that performance today. But after all the amazing of Andy Carroll's goal, we saw another one of a different technique altogether, but another classy finish by Lanzini.
Well, Lanzini needed to step up today because after everything that happened with Payet, we were missing our technical player today. Lanzini had to step up. He's our technical player, and today he really did, and that shows. We know about Lanzini's technical ability. We know he can control the ball. We know he can dribble, pass, blah, 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 blah. Today was about character, was about Lanzini saying, do you know what, I'm going to take over Payet's mantle, I'm going to be the guy. And it was so pleasing to see that at the end for him to score the third goal. And he had to travel a long way for that third goal as well. There was still a lot to do. There was no tapping, there was no Feghouli goal. You know, he did a lot of hard work there, and fair play to him.
It was a gutsy run almost, that length, and it was a fantastic pass by Antonio as well. Again, Antonio gets criticised in that by me as well, but fantastic pass. But he had a lot to do, Lanzini. Even when he got the ball, there was still a long way to go before he was at the goal. But I don't agree with this whole Lanzini step up thing. I think he's always been there. He's done nothing different. It's just about Bilic not building a team around Payet anymore and actually putting the focus on Lanzini a little bit more and putting him at the head of the midfield and saying, you know, let's put it through Lanzini instead of putting it through Payet. So I don't think Lanzini has to do anything he hasn't done before, but I am aware that I am Lanzini's sort of biggest fan and I have been since day one. But he's just oozes. He's a beautiful footballer. He is a beautiful footballer. The way he moves with the ball, he glides across that pitch. And it's very rare to see a footballer do that at West Ham. He just moves as if it's just so natural. It's almost like a swan in this canal here next to the ground. It's just something of beauty. But 3-0, game over. They banged the drum. They got the drum confiscated. The drum come back, and then the drum was finished. They didn't want to bang it anymore. But the fans today, I think we have to credit the 12th man a bit today. We were quiet, but as soon as that first one went in, I think there was nerves in the fans. Yeah. It wasn't just the players.
You're right.
There was nerves in the fans a little bit. It was cold. It was miserable. Everyone was a little bit big game this. But as soon as that first one went in, that roof came off. And I think the Palace fans were almost the perfect foil to that because they were pissing us off with that drum. They were giving it this, they were giving it that. They were good value for their money today. And I think as soon as we scored, we thought, yeah, you know what, you're going to get it back. And that crowd were fantastic out there tonight. And the songs about Bilic, you could hear the passion in the fans' voices. I think you can genuinely tell the difference between when people mean Super Slav and they don't, and they meant it tonight.
Relief would be the words that I would attribute to that. The fans were relieved, and it sort of allowed us then to express ourselves, and there was an outpouring of joy in many respects, an outpouring of gratitude to Bilic, who handled himself impeccably in that press conference. Really, really impeccably. And as I said earlier, you'd have to have a heart of stone not to have felt for him when he spoke about Payet. He's been let down, and today he did very well. And for the fans to come out like that, and let me get this absolutely straight, I don't think the Palace fans should have had their drum confiscated. The Palace fans should be allowed a drum, they should be allowed to stand, but we should be allowed to sing, and we should be allowed to stand as well, and to be able to sort of combat them and basically have a singing contest. That is what atmospheres are made of, two sets of fans going against each other, and it just seemed that goal liberated us and allowed us to sing back to them, and the fans were fantastic, and it's just, I'd say, the sense of relief, the pressure was gone, and we were able to sing. And Sam got away with it today because there weren't any big old stupid Sam songs, which I tried to start a couple, but no one really picked up on it. But yeah, no, the fans were great.
No one really cares about Allardyce anymore. He's not just yesterday's news, he's 2 years ago news. But it was good to look around when Super Slav was being sung. It was good to look around the stadium, and you could see people all over in the far end. We sit in the Trevor Brookany stand, you could see people in the Bobby Moore stand clapping. You could see 114 bouncing as they normally do. The whole place was just on their feet for Bilic. And emotional on the pitch, emotional off the pitch. But what about your man of the match then?
I'm going to go with Antonio, actually, because I thought his attitude throughout was exemplary, and he showed some technical ability as well. So I think Antonio for me today.
I think you have to give it to Antonio. Antonio for me, 3 assists, made the goals. Honourable mention, I thought Carroll played well. I thought he's not the most gifted striker in the world, but he'll always give you 100%. And any other final words before we disappear?
Do you know what? Just absolutely delighted. I knew we were doing this show. I thought, oh, what about technical analysis? Sometimes you just get so overwhelmed by the day and overwhelmed by the occasion. And today I was overwhelmed by the occasion. It's just been a really, really good day off the back of everything, particularly Payet. Allardyce coming back. We've sent him back with his tail between his legs, which was really, I felt very important. I didn't need him gloating and cupping his ear to us and all that sort of thing. So I'm just absolutely delighted for West Ham, delighted for Bilic. 2 fingers up to Allardyce, 2 fingers up to Payet, who doesn't want to play for us anymore. Do you know what, Payet, even if you don't want to play for us, I don't know, I'm pointing at the camera, he's not watching this. Payet always watches all our shows, of course, but you know what, we don't need you. We'll get someone else in to do our creating. Until that point, Antonio and Lanzini will do it, and we'll be all right.
Well, there was a lot of questions for West Ham today, a lot of questions for Bilic and the players, but they've stepped up and they've given a lot of answers to a lot of people. Fantastic display, 3 goals, 3 points. Make sure you subscribe, check out our sponsor Royal London Watches, get on the phone at hammerchat.com, and we will be back with a cup of tea next week. We'll have a preview of the Middlesbrough game. Don't go anywhere.